Hi, and welcome back to another channeling video. I've been so impatient to do this one. I'm not sure why, but it's been so hard last year, and this year is easier, but it's still not the easiest of years. And for me, these channelings mean so much, so I've been really impatient. It's been so much lately for me personally, and your support and your comments have given me so much strength, and so I guess that's why I've been so impatient to reconnect with you guys. I really want to thank you for joining me. I hope you like my new, better background. So I have some better lighting. I'm not a YouTube pro, but I'm working on it. So hopefully the sound is good. I've got better lighting, I've got a better background, so hopefully this will be a more enjoyable video to watch. I thought that I might start with just letting you know what questions we're doing today, and I would totally appreciate help with doing like the timestamps for the questions, because that's been really tough for me to go back to doing timestamps for the different questions to make it easier for people to navigate and get to the question they really want. And also, we can't have all of the questions in the title, so people don't necessarily know what they're getting. So it would be good to have some timestamps. So if you want to help me with that, that would be really appreciated. I think I'll put a comment down where we can put the timestamps. And if I'm able to, I'll do them myself. But if not, then I would really appreciate the help. So the questions we're doing today is, can we manifest anything? And or if it's not in our destiny, won't it happen? So is it that we have a set destiny and that we can't manifest anything we want? Or is it that regardless of our destiny, can we manifest whatever we want? That's the first question. The second one is how to stop being a victim and how to treat an abuser so that you can walk away from him or her without pain. Wonderful question, because I think we all have times in our lives when we feel victimized or when people do us wrong. And the third one is, what is the dark night of the soul and how do we navigate through it? So anybody who is spiritually inclined will have experienced this, and some people may be experiencing this right now. I know it's tough for me right now, so that would be a very useful one to go through. And the next one is how to heal bipolar disorder. So bipolar is when we have times of like great excitement, and then we get dips of like deep depression, and then we have like highs and lows, stuff like that. And the last question is, do plants and trees hear us when we talk to them? Do they have healing abilities? So those are the questions that we're going to do today. And once again, I will put a question in the comments where you can I will put a comment under which you can put your questions for the next video. And so these questions are all from the comments in the past video. And so for the next time, I'm going to use your questions again. Thank you for contributing. I really appreciate it. And I would really love if you give me more questions for next time. And the offer for this week is that if you remember about a year or two back, I did a major course in called Blessed Business. So it's specifically for service providers. So for example, if you're an astrologer or you do any kind of business, like any kind of business that is like one-on-one service, where you sell your time, then this course is directed to those of you, because that's what I do. I sell my services and my time, and that's how I make my living. And that can be a really tough situation if you are limited in time, or if you, like me, you have kids, and you're offering all this value, but you have limited time. So the course is directed to those of you who do that, and it's really focused on the three things. So it's a really huge course. I gotta say that. The first part is about your mindset, because obviously you can only receive from the universe what you're willing to receive. So the first module works on your mindset and how to have a winning mindset and how to be open to what the universe can give you. The second module is about marketing and sales and how to learn the specific things that work in terms of getting your service or product out there and making those sales. So it makes it more automated so that you can have some power over how much you're selling, and teach you how to do that in a confident way and do that in a way that is in your control. So you can control what you're selling and how much. And the third part is about automation, which is really about freeing up your time. And it has lots of bonuses. But I think that because it's such a major course, so I really recommend that you first if this is for you, if you're in this business or you're considering doing like a side hustle with some knowledge that you have, like if you're into astrology and was thinking about doing this as a side thing, I do recommend that you first look through the videos I have where I discuss with Lada. I have 2 videos about this course where it's not necessarily just about the course, it's just giving you the tips and tricks to really help you. I will put the links of those 2 in the comment section as well. So do have a look at those. It's free information and it will be really, really helpful. So yeah, the course will be on a discount from the standard price of $999, which is I had to raise it because it's like that's the market price. It's still low for what it goes. These types of courses are really a lot higher. But for now, for this week, it's going to be $349. But before if you feel like this is the right thing for you, if you have a service-based business, do please look at the videos first and get the information there, just so you know that it's really right for you. And it's a good time to go for it. I personally put so much effort. This is like the biggest course that I've done. And if you're in a service-based business and if you want to make your life easier, it's a must in my opinion. But yeah, please check that out if it's for you, if you're in that business or you're considering doing a side hustle and as a service provider. Okay, let's see. Whew. Let's start with the first question. Can we manifest anything? Or is it that it won't happen if it's not in our destiny? That's the first question. Can we manifest anything? Yes, you can manifest anything. But you are naturally inclined to want certain things. And you do have a life purpose that is geared to specific things. So while you can manifest anything, you are programmed to only be motivated in certain areas. The motivation that you need to manifest things will be there when it's aligned with your purpose, and will not be there sufficiently if it's not aligned with your purpose, or it will clash with other motivations that you have. So, yes, there is no limitation to what you can manifest, but you are not wired or inclined to want or be motivated enough to manifest certain things. So in terms of free will versus destiny, you have full free will, but you are also restricted by your personal makeup, the makeup of your character and your soul. And you are under many influences that you are unaware of that will push you in certain directions and push you away from other things. You may not know about it or may not feel this on a conscious level, but you will just find that certain things are easier for you to put your focus on and certain things are harder to keep your focus on. In a very real sense, you are being guided and influenced in the direction you need to go. And although in theory you are free to choose otherwise, it will be too much of an effort for you to go against who you really are and all the influences that you are under. You will be most satisfied following your life path and your destiny, and you are already pushed in that direction. Most things that are not a part of your destiny, you will not even consider or notice or pay attention to. The things that have been challenging in your life indicate your life purpose and life direction. Working on these challenges are what will give you the greatest growth. Some spiritual teachers made you feel that having material things or living a life of luxury is your highest purpose in life and that it is spiritually uplifting to be rich. But there are many more deeper aspects to life, and you will get most fulfillment from that which is meaningful to you. And although riches can be deeply fulfilling for some people, it may not be the case for you. And so your purpose may be related to other things, like related to family or personal insights. Many spiritual teachers give you one aspect of enlightenment and truth, but there is usually more nuances to things, and only your personal guidance will show you what is most profound for you. It is okay to not fully accept a spiritual teaching because you in your gut feel like there is more complexity to the subject, such as when people say you can manifest anything. You will in your life discover that while you can manifest things sometimes, other things are harder to manifest. And that is because of a purpose. Struggling to understand this. Can you explain that? There is so much depth in your limitations and what they teach you. Yes, your life can be a lot easier if you change your mindset, but it is not bad to struggle with your habitual or patterned limitations. There is much meaning in that, and it may be a part of your life purpose. The highest achievement is not necessarily financial wealth, but inner peace. Because through the inner peace, any challenge will be at least less of a challenge, or it will flow and resolve itself through your peace. Wow. That was so deep. Oh, wow. I think I need to move on to the next question because that was super deep, I think. Oh, and we're already like 16 minutes in. Okay. How to stop being a victim. How to treat an abuser so that you move away from him or her without pain. How to stop being a victim. Know that what happens to you is a part of your path and something that you attracted unknowingly, not because there is anything wrong with you, but because you are made that way, you are created that way. So it's not your fault, but it is because of who you are. So how to stop being a victim? Take accountability for everything that happens in your life, but do not consider it your fault. Just consider it your responsibility. It is not your fault when other people victimize you, but they are your circumstances, and you need to take accountability for those circumstances. So how do we move away without pain? The pain is likely going to be there. Sometimes it is a fact of life. You are human, and some things are painful. It is too much to ask for most people to not feel pain when heartbreaking things have happened to you. In order to move away, there needs to be a clearing of the karma of the situation. You need to make peace with what happened and make peace on the inside with your abuser. What does that mean? What does that entail? Truly understand and know and truly believe that they are not controlling your destiny. What happened to you is a part of universe's plan for you. Take the abuser out of the equation. They are a player in the game and they acted out their role. but they are not the main cause. Take them out of blame. Fear is a major factor when you have fallen into the pattern of victimization. Find ways to reframe your outlook in which there is nothing to fear. Take fear out of it. Your fear is a statement that you are powerless to circumstances, and the circumstances will confirm that belief. Release fear. And when you are confident that you have released your fear, then you have cleared the slate and you can now move on. For some, there is a strong attachment to fear. Be honest with yourselves. And by fear, we mean the feeling of fear, not the belief, not the thoughts of fear. So you may intellectually come to the conclusion that there is nothing to fear, but you may emotionally be fearful, and that means the fear is still there. You need to emotionally feel safe. And even if you intellectually are aware that there are risks, you need to emotionally be liberated from fear. That is how you can move on. And you will then see a way out. This was so deep. I hope that helps. I feel like that is some things are harder to implement than others, and this is one of those, I think, because I've been in an abusive relationship, and it's really hard. It's really hard. If it was easy, a lot more people would survive it, because some people don't. Moving on to the next question, which is also a little heavier, but we do this with a perspective that's going to uplift. What is the dark night of the soul, and how do we navigate through it? The dark night of the soul, and how do we navigate through it? The dark night of the soul is when you face and come to terms with the deepest feelings, with the heaviest emotions and beliefs. It is a necessity in order to transform and transmute these energies. So the dark night of the soul is a must in order to overcome some very heavy energies that are sometimes generational, sometimes very old. The result of it and the purpose of it is to give you clarity, to see clearer the full truth of things, not just on the surface, but on a deeper level, you are better able to see underlying currents. You are better able to see what is not immediately apparent. It gives you an intuitive understanding of the underlying feelings and currents of things. You will better be able to see what other people are struggling through. And be a more full person, a more soulful and profound person. Your actions from then on will have greater impact because you will act not only according to what is apparent, but you will act according to the fullness of reality and the underlying currents of things. Yes, it is a dark time, but there is so much wealth and richness in experiencing that. You may choose to not focus on the dark, and indeed it is in your interest to not dwell on the heavy energies, but in your reality there is darkness as well as light, and if you can lovingly see the darkness, if you can maintain your light in the darkness, you can gain so much wealth from there. The key is to maintain your light in the darkness. Many of you get swept up in the darkness and allow it to dim your light. But if you can remain loving, compassionate, and insightful and understanding when looking at the darker aspects of life, then you have transmuted the darkness. Do not let it get to you. Allow yourself to see it for what it is. I'm not sure I completely understood that. So how do we navigate? Is that what you answered? How do we navigate it? Okay, you did answer that. Okay. Yeah, I think that that question was answered. It's just taking me some time to really understand it. Okay, next question is how to heal bipolar disorder. Bipolar disorder is an indication that you have a great deal of emotional volatility and emotional richness, but it is very vulnerable to circumstances. Overcoming bipolar disorder has to do with taking control of your emotional strength and power and directing it through your own will rather than letting it be swayed by circumstances. A bipolar person believes they are powerless and lets their emotions be affected by things around them and outside of them. When they could be directing their focus intentionally and keeping their emotional energy more stable. They have to understand that darkness is a part of life and that as long as they know that, they can choose what to focus on, and they have to recognize it is a choice to focus on what will encourage you and keep you happy or bring you down. Bipolar people need to be more intentional with their emotions. Take the focus off of what is around them and their circumstances and be more intentional about what they want to do with their emotional energy. And that will mean they will be more stable. They will not have the highs, but they will also not have the lows if they do so. Thank you. Okay, and the last question is, do plants and trees hear us when we talk to them? Do they have healing abilities? Do plants and trees hear us when we talk to them? Yes. Although they do not understand your language, your intention in your words comes through to them directly. And yes, it is a very clear communication to them when you talk to them. They do understand. And they do appreciate your relationship with them. They can feel your emotional energy and your state of mind, and they appreciate you connecting with them. Okay, can they heal us? Do they have healing ability? Yes, and different plants and trees have different types of healing ability. Flowers have a multitude of very specific healing abilities for you. In general, they bring you more pleasure in life and more of the good feelings. Trees generally have a more grounding influence, albeit in different ways. Flowers can help with specific things. Okay, so how do we learn about that? You can ask the flowers intuitively and they will show you. But there is also some information that you can search and find in terms of what flowers will help with what specific thing. Flowers were known in the ancient times to be very helpful as remedies. That knowledge has been mostly forgotten but some people have preserved that knowledge and it is available to you. But most people are not aware of that as an option. The trees, as you will know and intuitively feel, have a grounding influence on you. They can strengthen you in this earthly plane to feel more connected to the earth and feel more stronger in your day-to-day life. You will be less overwhelmed and more at peace if you, for example, hug a tree. You know this intuitively, which is why you act on it intuitively. What about like having different flowers in your house? Do they, like, sometimes when we're gifted flowers, I wonder if that has like a specific reason. Like, do we attract certain plants into our lives? Like, yes, sometimes you don't know that you need a certain type of remedy, and you may be gifted a plant to help you, and it will help you, although you may not know that it does. Some flowers bring in love and romance. Some help with forgiving yourself. And each flower has a specific remedy. Trees have their specific remedies too, but in general, they help to ground you and connect you to Earth and make you better able to deal with life and feel strong and centered. Wow. I want to see if I get some general guidance as well, because it's tough times. And yeah, just want to see if I get some specific guidance as well. Oh, that means some general guidance. It is a busy time. A lot is happening. Things are speeding up. Many people are overwhelmed with how fast things are happening now. Many changes are happening this year. A lot of cycles and patterns are being broken this year. It is an uncomfortable year for many, but you have all become very strong in the past year, and so you are able to handle the changes this year. From the end of the year, things will be easier. And although life will always throw you curveballs, you are seeing the light at the end of the tunnel already. What else do people need to know right now? You have survived some very trying circumstances. You need to be proud of yourself and of your strength. Anything else? Do not worry about illness. illness is a part of life. It is no different now than it was before. That illness is a part of life. Do not fear it. It always has a purpose, and most of the time, the illness is when the healing is started. The illness is the healing. So do not fear it. Do not distance yourself from your loved ones. You still need them. I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your positive comments. Thank you to everyone. Again, if you are a service provider, do check out the links for the 2 videos we did about how to make your work situation easier. I think those are really valuable. I'll definitely put my best tips in there because it's important, especially nowadays, to be able to have some personal power in terms of how we make our living. Most of you, well, maybe not most of you because I don't know all of you, but there are some really knowledgeable people that follow this platform. And a lot of people do have a service-based business. So if you're doing that, do check out these videos. I think they have some very helpful tips in there that could be really useful to you. And also the Blessed Business course is now on a promotion for a heavy discount. Do keep your questions coming. Thank you for joining me. This means so much. Really, it's been really valuable to me. And God, it's intense times. You know, I'm having 12th house transit. So being a Taurus, all this Aries energy, although I love it, but it's also right on my 12th house from my sun. So it's testing. It's testing. That's what it is. So thank you for being here. And thank you for joining me in this because this gives me a lot of energy. Bless you all. Bye.